Hi, I'm Eric Nelson, co-author of Ways of the World and professor of history at Missouri State University, where I regularly teach in both online and blended formats our World History Survey. Today, I'd like to share how my thinking has evolved about the relationship between in-class and out-of-class learning in my seated courses. I started teaching fully online sections of our survey about a decade ago, which challenged me to create a learning environment separate from the classroom, where my students could achieve the same learning outcomes as in my seated sections. This challenge made me rethink everything and embrace a variety of new technologies and techniques, including adaptive learning quizzes, short question-driven videos, phased discussions, journals, and a whole variety of low-stakes formative experiences and assessments to support learning. While not all of my experiences worked as planned, over the years, in a series of incremental steps, I've created an online learning environment that accomplishes much of the same learning outcomes as in my seated classes, albeit in often very different ways. Early on, I perceived the potential that would accrue from integrating some of my online course into my seated sections. A richer out-of-class experience helped to prepare students for more ambitious and active class sessions, what some people call flipping the classroom. Then, over the past several years, I have found that the distinction between in-class and outside-of-class activities that was so central to my thinking when I first flipped my classroom had become increasingly blurred, with outside-of-class activities becoming closely linked to what we do in class. This has allowed me to leverage the strengths of these different modalities while mitigating their weaknesses. To offer one example, most of my discussions now begin online and finish in class. I have found that my survey course students consistently start discussions online well, posting their initial reflections and responding to those of their classmates, but their performance online thereafter is patchy, with some groups developing and refining their ideas more successfully than others. Meanwhile, my presence and promptings in class help to push students to look beyond their initial reflections, to make connections, and to draw conclusions. But my ability to do this depends greatly on the extent to which students arrive in my class already having engaged with and digested the material on which our discussion is based. By starting discussions online and then finishing them in class, I get the best of both worlds. Our online discussions consistently develop further than they would have on their own, and our in-class discussions benefit from more fully prepared students, and students, might I add, whose views I know ahead of time, allowing me to orchestrate fuller participation. Thus, in discussions, as in so much else, there's been a blurring of the split between in-class and out-of-class activities. These two modalities now work in tandem to secure a single learning outcome. To this point in my evolution, I've tended to view what happens outside of class as primarily formative, preparing students for higher-order in-class activities. But going forward, I plan to start experimenting with activities that start in class and finish outside of class. The advantages I see to this approach is I can give students a less time-sensitive environment in which to develop their ideas, and more choice as well. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my journey. I wish you every success in your own.